Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Bernie here, and in this video I will tell you why you should not buy the A7C Mark II and the A7CR cameras. CR. But first, let me tell you about the video features of both cameras. So Sony announced on Tuesday the two new compact cameras such as the A7C Mark II and the A7CR. So the A7C Mark II is the successor to A7C, which has significant changes. It uses a 33 megapixel sensor and now has the front dial and one additional C1 button in the back when you're comparing it to the A7C. This camera can record up to 4K 60 fps, but wait! If you film in 4K 60p, there will be a crop. And take note that you can only film in 4K 60p in APS-C Super 35 mode, which has a 1.5 times crop. As for 4K 24p, the image you get is 7K oversampled in full frame mode, which will give you more detailed images. Unfortunately, there is no 4K 120 fps function, which is a bummer considering the price of $21.98 US. You know, in terms of the autofocusing feature of the A7C Mark II, it has the latest AI technology, which Sony calls real-time recognition AF, in which the camera uses subject form data for accurate recognition even when the subject only occupies a small part of the screen. It has a 759 point face detection AF and also has the reliable recognition of a wide variety of subjects like trains, animals, cars, planes, etc. Just like the Sony a6700. You know, I'm amazed and already satisfied with the FX30's autofocus. So how much more with these new cameras? But still we have to wait for real-world examples before we can truly compare. And the IBIS or in-body image stabilization on the A7C Mark II was upgraded as well to 5-axis 7-step, this time around for more stable handheld shooting. The A7C Mark II camera acquired some of the video features of the Cinemaline cameras, particularly the FX30, which has the S-Log3, S-Cinetone, and LUTs for previewing purposes, as well as for storing them as picture profiles in camera to use for LUTs, which will be embedded to the final images for those quick turnaround videos. You can also film in XAVCS 4K in 10-bit 422, and also the breathing compensation is another notable feature of this camera, although I haven't used it yet because I have a Sigma lens. Yeah, a Sony lens must be used for this to work. And finally both cameras have base ISOs of 800 and unofficial second base ISOs of 3200 as per Jason Vong. So credit to him for sharing his test. Alright, so now let's take a look at the A7CR. Yes, I love the name. CR. It reminds me of something. Well, in the Philippines. It has the same compact body design as the A7C Mark II and is modeled from A7R5. It has the same Bayon's XR sensor but with a 61 megapixel. And because of this 61 megapixel sensor, in my opinion, this camera is geared more towards photographers and the video capabilities here are just secondary. Just stating my opinion right here. You know, it has the same 5-axis 7-step in-body image stabilization as well. And you know another great feature of the A7CR is the ability to quickly switch over to high-resolution APS-C, which makes it a versatile camera. You know, in terms of filming in 4K 24p, there will be a 1.2 times crop. And please note that you will not be able to film in 4K 60 fps in APS-C mode when using the A7CR, which is a bummer as well. Also real-time recognition AF is also a great feature of this camera, and it has a 693 point face detection AF with approximately 79% coverage. And again, as I mentioned previously, just like the A7C Mark II, the A7CR also has S-Log3, S-Cinetone, and you can embed and preview LUTs as well. And the other thing to note with this camera is that it comes with a grip extension. edition out of the box, whereas you have to buy it separately for the A7C Mark II for $150, which is, I would say, expensive, huh? Alright, last but not least, the A7CR has image sensor anti-dust system, which is a good thing, huh? And I wish the FX30 had this feature too. Alright, so now after telling you the features of both cameras, my question to you is, would you buy any of the two? And have you already made up your mind? And now, before we move on to the reasons why you should not buy the A7C Mark II, I will tell you now that the A7CR is out of the picture. Why? Well, since between the two, it will not be my choice because of the price and the other features. Yes, I know it almost has the same features as the A7C Mark II, and that real-time recognition AF is so enticing. But still, in my opinion, it is expensive. Yeah, my wallet will be very sad. For that price, a heat sink or built-in fan should be included. And you know what? I don't really know if it will overheat, but only time will tell, and until the real-world tests show up on YouTube, so we shall see. Alright, so now that the A7CR is out of the picture, let me tell you now the reasons why you should not buy the A7C Mark II, and it's because of some factors. The first reason is that it doesn't have 4K 120 FPS capability. Really? Well, the question is, why? You know, this camera has the same price of the Sony ZV-E1. They're both priced at $2,198 US. And I really think that it's an oversight from Sony. Maybe they have their own reasoning as to why. And that I don't know. For me, the lack of 4K 120 FPS is a deal breaker. But in my opinion, they should have lowered the price to make up for the lack of 120 FPS feature in 4K. Or if they wanted to retain the price, just add it later via a firmware update, just like the ZV-E1. Alright, so the ZV-E1 wins in this regard since it can film in 4K 120 FPS after the update. In addition, you can also film at 240 FPS in 1080p. Alright, now our second reason why you should not buy this camera is because of the micro HDMI for both the ZV-E1 and the A7C Mark II. So for this reason alone, I will include the FX30 as the one to get. And I know it's APS-C, but it has this full-size HDMI, which is for me, the way to go. So the FX30 takes the edge right here when it comes to full-size HDMI. Next, and the third reason is that the 4K 60p is cropped on the A7C Mark II. So the ZV-E1 wins right here since it doesn't have a crop, which is always a good thing. Alright, and here we go right now with the fourth one, which is the price. Yes, it all comes down to the price at the end of the day. Both the A7C Mark II and the ZV-E1 have the same price of $2,198 US. And I really think, that the price is still expensive. I understand that they're both full frame, but still, I expect to have at least a built-in fan to avoid overheating because we don't know, since both cameras have a lot of great features that need a lot of processing power. So for that price, I'm expecting both to have a built-in fan at the very least. Well, anyway, in closing, the A7C Mark II is a great full-frame camera, but if you are starting out with videography in general and it will be your first full-frame camera with great features, then I recommend getting the Sony ZV-E1 instead. And you know what, This is also a great choice if you are planning on using 4K 120 FPS. Again, the 4K 120 FPS feature is only available after the update, but please correct me if I'm wrong if it isn't the case anymore and if it's now included out of the box. You know, the ZV-E1 is definitely the choice if you are starting out with videography and into full-frame filmmaking. Alright, and one more thing. Let's say you are looking for a gimbal dedicated camera, then the ZV-E1 is a great choice since it's the smallest, well, slightly, and the cheapest among the cameras mentioned. Overheating will not be an issue if used as a dedicated gimbal camera. Since in my case, well, I can only speak for myself, I don't film continuously. I'm always, let's say, film for maybe a minute or two, maybe up to 3 minutes, and then turn the camera off, and then start again, and so on and so forth. And I'm guessing you are doing the same thing. So the ZV-E1 makes sense and is the perfect camera for this application since it can film in both 60p and 120 fps. But it's not the end yet. But, and there's another but, if you only have a limited budget, like let's say less than 2 grand, or you don't want to spend for a full frame camera as well as for full frame lenses, then you can get the Sony a6700 instead, which is priced at $1398, and then buy a couple of APS-C lenses and you will be set. You know, you get almost the same features as both the 7AC Mark II and a7CR, but the sensor size, since it's an APS-C camera. Alright, so how about you? Despite of what I have said here, would you still buy the a7C Mark II or the a7CR no matter what? If so, why? Or would you settle for an a6700, for example, a Sony ZV-E1, or even the FX30 instead? If so, let me ask why as well. Alright, let me know in the comment section below and let's discuss. Alright, that's about it for this video. I know it's a long one, but I really hope you find it helpful. This is Bernie. Until the next one, thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.